We are good to go. So we're back, and hello everybody, and a massive welcome to Marianne joining us from Champagne. Very, very pleased to welcome you to our event, and obviously talk a little bit more around yourself and your role and your family, and obviously the amazing wines that some of us have been enjoying this week. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure we'll have a great time over the next 45 minutes or so. So to the audience, please feel free to write your questions in the question box, and we will ask them to Marianne as well. So first of all, obviously, thank you for joining us. And your role at Maison Gamet is the head of operations, a very nice title. And
yeah, I think that translates into the big boss.
so tell us a little bit more around your role at Maison Gamet.
So hello everyone first. So I'm very pleased to be with you. Even if I don't see you, I'm very happy because we are in lockdown in France. It's been a long time I didn't speak English. So I'm really happy to speak English. Since before I was used to travel, but not anymore.
Yes.
But anyway.
Your English is better than our French.
No. But then you will come in France and we will practice together.
Yes, you will teach us properly.
Okay, so about my role in the company. So first, you know that we are a family company, a family estate. So in fact, everybody in the family is a kind of a big boss. We are all sharing our expertise and the thing we love together. So in fact, to tell you a bit the kind of feedback around the family. So it's 4 of us. So there is my mother who is taking care of all the administrative, the bank and everything. We don't want to have to see anything with that. All the very difficult things. Then there is my father, who is taking care about the vineyard mostly, and also as we are a farmer, he's taking care of the farm, cereal, and so on. Next to that, there is my brother, who is an enologist. He's taking care of the wine side, with my father as well. Even if they have 2 different styles, 2 different methods. They are still working together about the wine. And then about my role in the company. So me, I'm the little hand, we say in French, the petite main, who is helping and driving everybody. So in fact, I came from a business side, but for sure I get interested very early into the wine side. And so today I'm driving the company, taking care of the commercial side. But also because it's important to know about what you speak about, which is the champagne, the wine. I'm also learning about wine and especially about the vines because I want to be able, once my father retire and get on vacation, I want to be able to take care and drive our employee around the vineyard. So I'm also a lot involved in the vineyard. And the wine, I'm sharing it with my brother who is trying to teach me how to make a good wine. Yeah, that's my role.
Amazing. The perfect family balance. Everybody does their own roles, but still work together.
Yeah, definitely.
And work together. So amazing.
Yeah,
so you mentioned your. Sorry.
I said it's well balanced.
Yes, definitely. So you mentioned your brother, and I know that you have made some changes to the domain, you and your brother together. Could you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yes. So since 2018, with my brother, we officially came back because even before we were there for the harvest and the big moment of the estate. But we are officially back since 2018, which was a harvest. So we were lucky to come with a good harvest.
Yes.
Because it's not the case for everybody. So we were lucky. And in fact, the idea was on my brother's side. The idea was to bring new techniques or come back to trying to be non-interventionist on the wine, or just the minimum, and avoid to add different enological products that are not necessary every year or not necessary at all. So that was on the part of my brother, bringing more techniques into the wine.
Yeah.
And on my side, I wanted to bring a focus on the terroir. Because in Champagne region, I think I don't teach you something new today, but it's the new move to focus on the terroir, to express what we are doing special in our cru, our village, a bit like Burgundy style.
Yes, definitely.
It's completely Burgundy style, but it's a movement that I really love because it pushes all the small growers in the front of the scene. And the Champagne region is wide. It's really like you have the north and the south with the Aube. You have the Marne Valley, which is super long. So there is so many terroir, climate to understand, to discover. So that was my role to bring this to the company to better understand our wine, and also to educate the clients. To tell them that Champagne is not a for party, even if it is for party. You start with Champagne, then you finish with gin tonic. That's the good way of partying. But it's also a wine, and it needs to be understand with all the package of wine, which is the terroir. So that was my role to bring this new wine generation, I will say, into the company.
Yes,
so lots of innovative ideas.
And that's why we fell in love with your wines when we tried them. It was the focus on the terroir and really selling the story of your villages. And that's what is important to us as a business and what we are trying to achieve in the UK. We want people to see Champagne as a wine first and a wine of place, which... Yes, it's for celebrations, but also it can be enjoyed at all moments with food and different occasions. So that's
and also for simple moments.
Definitely. So it's a very good move from you two. A very good move. And also away from the wines, were the changes that you made with things like the business and the commercial side and the brand?
So, in fact, for the background, because we are located in the Marne Valley, which is not the most popular sector in Champagne, and because we are farmer, we decided to move on a completely different model from our Champagne, from our neighbor of Champagne, our competitor. We decided to find something completely new in Champagne. Which is to work on a kind of hacienda agricola model, which is in fact selling, elaborating wine, making wine, a qualitative production, not big production. That's not the idea of the estate. The idea is really to keep it small and qualitative, to work our products from the A to Z. And then next to that, our idea was also, because we are farmer and we got some expertise in that, to work with other type of products. So since we came back with my brother, we started to make a liquor of wine, which is called the ratafia. It's a very, very old kind of French liquor that is made in every wine region, but it's not well known at all. But it's super good. Super good, very sweet, and you can drink it very, very easily.
Yes.
So we decided to make that. There is different reasons, but the first reason when we did that, it's because in Champagne you are supposed to keep the grapes, like you have a special quantity of harvest every year.
Yeah.
And if you have more grapes than what you are supposed to pick up, you have to let the grapes into the vineyard. And in 2018, we had a huge quantity of grapes. So we let a lot of grapes into the vineyard. So we decided to go and pick some of the grapes to make the liquor of wine, the ratafia.
Yes.
And like this, we avoid to waste a lot of grapes. So that was the first secondary product. And then we move on completely different type of activity, which are the how we say in English, the apiculture. So when you work with bees.
Oh yes, so a beekeeper with honey.
Yes, exactly. So we decided to make honey. So the beehives, they are located on the estate and
Okay.
into the vineyard. So we start slowly to sell our honey, but it's really local product for now. But we want to make it like bigger to allow our customer to buy even from Japan or UK to buy our honey.
Nice.
But again, we want to keep it small. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to become an industry. And next to that, that's the new project, and we will launch it in a few weeks. So we are quite happy and exciting at this moment. It's the cider.
Yes.
I love, guys, in UK, you love cider.
Yes, we do.
Actually. And so we will launch the cider in a few weeks. So we have an orchard, a family orchard where we have apple. We also buy some apple from another friend who is in the region. And just for fun, we did a cider. In fact, it was quite nice. So we were like, okay, we will launch this kind of project. It's completely with our philosophy to make it fun, to propose local products and farm products. So that's the main idea, in fact, of our company, our estate. In the future, we want to be able to propose different products to our customer. And also to bring to the front the Marne Valley terroir.
Yes, definitely. And I think even since 2018, you've made lots of impressive and interesting changes and ideas, and the cider sounds amazing.
I am very, very excited to try the cider.
Very, very exciting. So it's really, really interesting to hear how that's going, and hopefully the launch in a couple of weeks will go very well, I'm sure.
Definitely.
So we've spoke a little bit about the Marne Valley and the terroir. So you work within 3 villages, and some of these may be new names for some of our guests and in the UK. So could you explain a little bit around the 3 villages and the differences of their terroir and how they work?
Yeah. So the Marne Valley, it's located just next to Épernay.
Yeah.
So we'll say the Marne Valley, you have Épernay here, and it starts. It's from west to east. You have more than 100 villages, maybe more than 100 for sure. It's a very, very long valley that starts from Tours-sur-Marne, which is more known than Mardeuil, and then it continues until Croûte-sur-Marne, and I think there is other village, and it's closer to Paris actually than Épernay. So it's very, very long. And this sector has been very well known thanks to Aï and Auvillers and Lumière, that are renowned villages in this sector. But otherwise, all the other villages, they are not well known at all. But there is plenty of superb growers that are making great wine across the valley. And in fact, it's a valley, so I have the Marne River crossing all the vineyard, which helps us also to benefit from a very cool weather, freshness in the summer, humidity, but not too much, because then we have also other bad things coming. But the Marne River really helps the vineyard to keep the freshness inside the vineyard.
Yeah.
And so from both sides, you have the right bank and the left bank. Like in France, I don't know in UK, but in France, every big city with a river, you have the left bank and the right bank. It's we call that the rive droite or rive gauche.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the Marne Valley, you have the right bank and left bank, and we are lucky because thanks to our story, thanks to the love story between our parents, we got a vineyard on the right bank and the bank. So maybe I have a map here, so I can show you. To be easier. So I show you like this. Okay. So
Yes.
we are Épernay is here. I don't see my. Okay, you can see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Épernay is here, and you have the river crossing here.
Yeah.
So here you have Cumières, which is a quite well-known village, and the estate is located in Mardeuil here, so it's really like close to Épernay.
Yeah.
So Mardeuil here, we are on the left bank of the Marne River,
Mm-hmm.
and then so Mardeuil, in fact, it's the village of my father.
Yes.
And then if we cross the Marne River, then we take the classical way to go into the vineyard of the right bank, and then we arrive here in Fleury-la-Rivière and Damery.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so those two villages are located on the right bank. So it's where my mother is coming from.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this is going to be my favourite story of yours.
Yeah, it's a
that you
love story.
I love
Thanks to that, we are lucky to have a completely different type of soils, type of climate.
Yeah.
And then, for example, to give you a small, like a funny fact, when we are doing the harvest, we always start on the left bank because in Mardeuil we benefit more from sun. So the grapes they are ripe earlier.
yeah.
And on the right bank, because it's in the how to say, it's a bit hidden by
Yes.
forest.
Yeah.
So then we start. Every time we start in Mardeuil, left bank,
Yeah.
and then we move to the right bank step by step. So it's really easy because in 1 week we already know every time we start here, and then we finish in Fleury. So voilà. And then I will show you. So the particularity of the left and right bank, it's the soil and the microclimate. And about the soil, in fact, I'll show you. So this one,
Yeah.
with a browner type of soil, it's the left bank
Yes.
Yeah.
with a majority of clay stone soil, and also we got a lot of stones. Like we have silex, like in
Yeah.
Chablis,
Yeah.
and then we have the sandy soil, like this, which is the particularity of the right bank, and especially the soil of Fleury-la-Rivière. And in fact, I will try to show you. In fact, Fleury-la-Rivière, before the prehistoric age, there were shells into the. I come back to what I was saying. Today, we find shells into our vineyard because before the prehistoric age, there were a tropical sea that was coming until Fleury-la-Rivière. And in fact, it was the same tropical sea that was Chablis. So, in fact, in Fleury-la-Rivière, we have a similar type of soil in some parts than Chablis. Voilà.
Sure.
So
So
that's the funny fact. You can see shells like
Oh
this.
wow.
yeah, little shells and
Then you have to find other, but yeah, like this.
Wow, that's incredible.
so two completely different soils that create different
Completely.
grapes.
Nothing to see together, and that's why we did two different cuvées, the rive droite and the rive gauche. And also on the right bank, because the soil are a bit they are less rich than the left bank.
Yes.
We have a majority of Meunier grapes there, because the Meunier grapes, they enjoy poor soil actually.
So the left bank and the right bank, the two cuvées, obviously that we've tried and we've tasted, are two completely different wines.
Yeah.
And to try them side by
We
side.
were blown away.
Nothing to see. Yeah. Yeah, there is nothing to see together. And the left bank, in fact, we have Chardonnay also inside.
Yeah.
Because we only have Chardonnay on the left bank.
Yeah.
Because the soil, the Chardonnay is like the king of Champagne, and it's really how to say, it's a grape variety that needs a rich soil
Yes.
to enjoy and to grow and to give good quality. While the Meunier is really a type of grape variety that enjoy poor soil.
Yes, it's a more robust and can be
Yes.
a little bit more flexible with the soils that it's grown in.
Yeah.
So there's always Chardonnay in Mardoy for you.
Sorry?
So Chardonnay only on the left bank.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it's a very, very small quantity.
Yeah.
I've got a question which we've not thought of, but I'm just going to put in there. So, which cuvee do you prefer if you have one from the right bank or from the left bank?
Personal favorite.
That's hard. No, that's hard. Honestly, I prefer the right bank. Because I'm really, I think I can't be objective at all, but I'm really a Meunier lover.
Yes.
Because since I'm a baby, I'm drinking Meunier because even all our neighbors, the majority of grape they are using to make their champagne is Meunier. So my palate is just like Meunier palate.
That's something we've got in common because when me and Cameron tried the bottles side by side, we posed the question to each other: which one did we prefer personally? And I was the right bank, and Cameron was the left bank.
Yeah, but
so
that's funny.
for us.
That's funny because today it starts to be we start to have a competition between the right team and the left team.
Definitely.
That's good because when we did it and we said, oh, if you prefer the left bank, then that means that's more right bank for me. So you can enjoy that and I can have this. So that'll be good.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, so we've got a question that's just come in from Pasquale. So he says, what type of soil would give more minerality to the wine? Is it the chalk, the silex? Which one gives more minerality?
It will really depend the grape variety you have, and also it will depend about the climate because the minerality, according to me, because it's not today minerality in the French dictionary it exists. I tell you, it's really like a new word that has been created in the wine. In the wine, with the wine lover.
Yeah, the wine world.
And for me, according to me, the minerality comes from the soil and also climate. So for me, you need a fresh climate. And according to the grape variety, if you want to get in French for the Meunier, we say une minéralité argileuse. It means a clay limestone minerality.
Yeah.
So it's something with like very thin, very smooth aroma, with something like you feel you have something in the mouth, like how to say, like if you had one. I don't have the word in English, but the minerality for the Meunier, if you want to get it, you need the fresh climate and the correct soil for the Meunier, which is clay and limestone, sandy soil, and also another word that we call marneux. So it's a type of soil that is coming from the Marne River. So it's still very humid. For Chardonnay, if you want to get the perfect minerality, you will need chalk.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. I can tell you that our Chardonnay in Mardoy that are planted on clay and limestone, they have no minerality. They are a bit heavier. They are heavier than the Côte des Blancs Chardonnay. So it's really like, for me, the best minerality you will get will be according if you respect the grape varieties, atmosphere, ecosystem, and so on.
No, it's interesting to see how the two grapes, Meunier and Chardonnay, will react differently to the soils. And obviously we spoke a lot about the left bank and the right bank and the differences. And I think if anybody that gets the chance to try the two cuvées side by side will really
it truly is an experience.
Really enjoy that, won't they?
Yeah.
I think the phrase that maybe for minerality in the UK, lots of sommeliers say it's like licking a wet stone. In the mouth.
It's completely that. And also then the minerality will come also the way you work your wine. If you try to keep something fresh, keep the stone into the tasting. So that's for me the way to make minerality.
Super. So talk a little bit about the Meunier. So it's becoming a lot more popular in Champagne and how people use the Meunier grape. So what is it that works so well for you in your cuvées? You said you've grown up with Meunier, so you obviously it suits your palate very well. So how does it work so well in your vines and in your wines?
So first, because it was the area that wants that the Marne Valley is the sector of the Meunier.
Yeah.
That's the major point. Then also, what makes the Meunier so particular in our wine, that's the way you work it. I mean, during the vinification.
Yeah.
The Meunier, you have to know that from the 3 grape varieties of Champagne. I won't talk about the old one, but the Pinot Noir, Meunier, and the Chardonnay. The Meunier grapes, those are the ones that are aging the fastest.
Yes.
So that means that once they are into the bottle, they will age faster than the Chardonnay. That's why you will never have a vintage from a big house or smaller house, maybe because they try. But the big houses, they never do a vintage with Meunier. They do with Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, or do a blend.
Yes.
But never 100% Meunier, because the Meunier is aging too fast. And when you want to keep your bottle into your cellar, usually you want something that ages slowly. So that's one point. It could be a bad point, but today the idea of drinking champagne is also to have good moments and to share, to have a good bottle at the right moment.
Yes.
So in fact, the cool thing with Meunier is that today, when you buy a bottle of Meunier, you already know that you can drink it right now. Don't take it for a long time in your cellar. You will enjoy it directly.
Enjoy it straight away.
Yeah, and it's, according to me, it's really the kind of philosophy we have at home, and it fits really with the Meunier, because I give you the example at home when we buy wine. We always drink it in the next month. We don't have a cellar to age our wine because we drink it straight away.
I think we should have on that. I think we should try a glass. I think we should definitely pour a glass. So for those in the audience, we've got the Gamet Caractères cuvée. We'll talk about that in a little while. So this is a personal favourite of mine, especially that the aromas on this are incredible from the Meunier. So, excited.
As excited as you?
Yes, just as excited as me. Lots of love heart emojis and claps coming in. So some of our guests have tried this wine this week. So we'll have a little taste with you. Here we go. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, I just love it. It's one of my favourite aromas that I've had in Champagne. It's so rich and beautiful. The fruitiness, get some umami and earthy flavours.
Yeah, and as we were talking about Meunier, the character is really the expression of an old Meunier, but a good old Meunier, and because we blend it with reserve wines.
Yes.
And we keep also we blend it also with young wine, which make that the young wine bring the freshness, and the old wine, they bring the complexity, the structure, and a bit of oxidation. So that's the best way to make an old Meunier.
Yes. So obviously with this cuvée, then the reserve wines date back to, is it 1999 in sort of perpetual reserve Solera style method?
Yes, your father's perpetual reserve, am I right?
Sorry?
Your father's reserve wines?
All the way back to
that's right. In fact, when my parents, they started in the 90s, my father decided to make a kind of reserve of wine, because first it's mandatory in Champagne, but also because he wanted to make a reserve, a barrel
Yes.
blended with different years, different good years. So it started in 1999, and this wine that you are tasting, it's blended with wine until 2014.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And then it's aged in the cellar for 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, until release. And we love all the details on the back label.
Yeah, very detailed.
So our disgorgement date is August, no, sorry, July 2019.
Got there in the end.
I couldn't read the numbers. July 2019 is the disgorgement date on this. So we love that you can read out that on the back of the label and learn a little bit more about the cuvee. So very, very impressive.
So how much do you top it up each year? How do you decide how much juice goes in each year?
Yeah, somebody asked us that today. She was interested on whether add extra into the vintage.
So it depends the year. Some year, in fact, we add every good year. So, for example, the 3 last year were really, really good year.
Yeah.
So we had approximately 10% every year.
Okay.
And we pick 10% every year. Like we pick and we put 10% more. And then we blend with all the other oak barrels that we have from the year that are usually coming from the single vineyard that we are doing for the future.
Yes.
The future range.
Yeah.
So it's about 10%.
Oh, okay.
About 10%.
Yeah, we know that your oak barrels are made from the wood from your local forest.
Yeah.
Right next to the vineyards.
That was also the wish of the family to continue in the terroir philosophy. So, in fact, some of our barrels, because we had opportunity, in fact, the cooper called us, he told us, okay, we have some wood from the forest next to your vineyard. If you want, we can make barrel with it. So we have some barrels that are made with the wood of the forest, Fleury-la-Rivière and Damery. So the white.
Yes.
And so we age the wine coming from those villages into those barrels.
Amazing.
To keep the terroir together.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I love that. Yeah, it's great.
Incredible. A great idea, and it really shows that the terroir of the village is from more than just the soils and the climate and the grapes. You've even got
even down to the little details.
It's very special.
How old are the barrels?
So the barrels, no, they have all of our barrels. They have at least 3-4 wine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for example, the barrel of Character, we changed it in 2007. So it really depends because we buy barrels every year, but usually they have 3-4 wines when we use it to make a cuvée. Otherwise, we just put like a reserve wine inside. Or
to let it age. Because sometimes when people buy the new oak and new barrels, you can really taste it on the wines, and it's very
It's too much wood. It's like if you go United States straight away and you eat wood. But that's the time when you buy barrels that you can use it only use it to make a proper cuvée. You need at least 2 years, and usually it's more 3 years.
Yeah.
Sure, amazing. So, we've got another question that's just come in. I know we're going to talk about some of the new things that are coming from the domain shortly in terms of the champagne, but we've got a question here from Nacho. So Nacho says, any plans on producing a Coteau Champenois with Meunier?
So we have plans, but for now, at home we are quite strict with our work. So we are trying since 3 years to make a good Coteau Champenois, because if we launch a Coteau, we want to make it great.
Yes.
Because the Coteau Champenois usually is very on the acidity, and we want something on the roundness, greedy, really like something that people like as a Chablis, a Burgundy, or what you want.
Yes.
So for now, we don't have plans to launch the Coteau Champenois. So let's see the next harvest.
Yeah, keep trying.
It will really depend of the harvest and what is coming. Because for now, we didn't succeed to make the perfect Coteau Champenois. And we have some red, Coteau Champenois in red, that we are trying to age in oak barrels, and let's see how it goes. But for the moment, it's really acidic.
Yeah, of course. It'd be interesting to see how that works, and if a special year comes along.
But I can tell you that it will come because the Champagne region, with the climate change, the temperature are growing, and you will have more and more good Coteau Champenois, for sure. Because we get a higher degree during the harvest, so it will come.
Definitely.
Exciting project to come. Another exciting project.
Yeah.
And
Champagne is on a good move. I know it.
And we've had a few questions about that this week around how the climate is affecting, obviously, Champagne region and the increasing temperatures. So yeah, we will probably see a few more Coteau Champenois come onto the market and things. So that's really interesting. So even though a Coteau Champenois maybe not coming very soon, we know you've got exciting projects and things waiting for release. So could you tell us a little bit more around some of the new cuvées that may be coming soon?
Yeah. So since my brother came back, I told you the beginning that he brought new techniques. So we started to make a single vineyard cuvée.
Yes.
In 2018. So those are single vineyard cuvée with only one grape. They are based on only 1 year, so they should become vintage. And then they are aged in oak barrel. And we did like it was with natural yeast. So indigenous yeast. Because in Champagne, to push the fermentation, we usually use a selected yeast, but here we use natural yeast to let the wine goes into fermentation by itself.
Amazing. I think
so. It will bring like a complexity into the wine for sure, and also those cuvées are really important for us because it's the first cuvée we did with my brother, and those are single vineyards, so we will really get the expression of the terroir we have.
Amazing. So are
they are promising, and one thing that is sure is that we will start launching one of our cuvées by the end of the year. Because we have a meunier that doesn't want to age too much.
I was going to ask that question.
So it won't become a vintage. It will be a young champagne, but honestly, the nose is really good.
Exciting.
This will be launched by the end of the year.
Amazing. So we've got 100% meunier, single parcel, single vineyard cuvée to come and look forward. Yeah. That sounds and the natural yeast as a project. How have you found that developing those?
So the way we are doing this, so it's my brother who bought that. So it's a bit complicated. So I tried to make it fast. In fact, before the harvest, like a few days before the harvest, we go into the vineyard and we pick some grapes in the single plot. We want to make it as a wine. So we pick some grapes, then we crush them, we pick up the juice and we put them into a pot like this.
Okay.
We put grape juice like this into that. So this is before 5 days before the harvest. And then the juice of the grape we crushed, we bring the juice back into the vineyard where we picked the grapes.
Right, okay.
So we continue keeping the same the terroir, 100% terroirs, and because the idea is that the juice, in fact, we let the pot like this open, and the juice inside will benefit from the bacteria in the air into the single vineyard.
Right.
So we get all the bacteria and everything, allowing the juice to start a fermentation, natural fermentation with the ambient here. And when we are doing the press of our single vineyard, we put the juice inside the barrel.
Amazing. Wow.
And normally, if everything is good, the fermentation starts.
Very clever.
Yeah, that's
Very.
great. Yeah.
And we keep it terroir.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Very, very interesting to hear how that process works, and a really exciting project and experiment with the with those new cuvées. We're very excited, I think, to have a look at those. They sound amazing. They really do. I think we've got another question here. So it says, on the topic of the yeast. So it says, are you to use that for second fermentation too?
No, for the moment, for the second fermentation, we are still using the one that the laboratory give us.
Okay.
But we could try. But the issue is that we need to study about that, because it's easier to make natural, like to start creating natural yeast because we have the grapes.
Yeah.
But when we are doing the bottling, usually it's in February, so there is no more grapes. So on the vineyard, so we need to find a way to keep the natural yeast. Like I think you need a very fresh room. Like it's really a laboratory experiment.
Yeah, sure.
That we don't have for the moment, but it's a really good idea.
Yeah, and I think because it's a new project as well, it will take obviously time to develop all the natural yeast as well. So another question's just come in. Oh, my cursor's in the way. Any plans to freeze the must in that way? Is that so they put freeze in inverted commas, so I'm not sure if that's something that...
What is freeze?
Sorry, we lost you there.
I was saying, what is freeze? So freezing is turning water into ice, as an example.
Really cold.
For the yeast.
For the yeast, sorry, yeah.
But actually, that's really, honestly, it's a really good question. It's not possible, like, or at least, yes, we can put it in a fridge, the cold fridge. But I'm not sure it's really hygienic. But I really think you need to be to have a proper laboratory. To
okay,
make sure
sure.
You can control that you still have yeast, because the yeast, they need to eat to live. So if you if you freeze them, I'm not sure that they will survive, honestly. So it's a good question.
Sure. Yes. I think lots of people are interested in obviously the different ways to create those yeasts and to use those. Somebody's just commented that they said, correct, you need a sterile room with a HEPA filter. So obviously Frank in the chat there has got some great knowledge that he's just shared with us. So super stuff. So my last question would be, and I know Michael's commented in the comments that he's tasting the 2013 vintage. So I know it was a little bit before you was fully immersed in the vineyard and in the operations. But what was it about the 2013 vintage that made a release for you as a family?
So the 2013. So I was there for the harvest, but at that time I wasn't so involved in the company. So it was a very good year, especially for the Meunier grapes.
Yeah.
It's a vintage that is because something also to know is that when you have a good harvest, it doesn't mean that it will make a good vintage.
Okay.
Because then the aging process really depends on the harvest. So the 2013 was a good harvest, especially for the Meunier, really similar to the 2012. We got a lot of sunshine during the spring, enough rain after, and then a very hot summer. And then we got a good harvest with a good quantity as well. So that was a proper harvest. And then on aging side, it's the 2013. You can keep it again for a longer time because it's a vintage that is aging really, really slowly. Mm-hmm. So that's good actually, because a vintage, when you want to do a vintage, the idea is that you can keep it for a longer time.
Yes.
In your
Indeed.
But that was a classic good harvest. And then it's the aging process that makes this vintage incredible in the way that it keeps so much time. Like to age, it's like really cool. If we compare with the bottle of 2018 we have in the cellar currently,
Yes.
we are expecting to make a vintage with it, but they are aging so fast. It's
Wow.
incredible. So, but it was very, very good harvest.
So it's not, so the key message there is not to get too carried away with the harvest to necessarily, you've got to wait, you've got to have patience and see how it develops.
In fact, everything depends on the harvest, but the time you are doing the harvest, they only give you 50% of the potential of the vintage. And then you will know later the 50%, the other 50%. You will know them when you will go and test your wine in the cellar. But honestly, the harvest, they give the solution way after. But that's the magic of.
That's the magic of champagne. Indeed, indeed. So unfortunately, we have run out of time, and I've run out of characters. You've got a little bit left, Naomi.
Yeah, I will finish alone.
It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you this evening. Obviously, thank you so much for your time. I know the guests have been chatting away and obviously a few questions. It's been a really enjoyable hour or so to speak with you.
Yeah, I think a real thing that stood out for me, which is how well you use your terroir to make sure everything you do really express that through every key thing that stood out for me, which every time we speak, you just reiterate that more and more. So that's amazing.
And just before we leave, I'm sorry I've missed a question, my fault. So
this is why I'm in control.
This is why you're the boss. So Antonio has asked if you know how many yeasts are for secondary fermentation are there. So how many yeasts are there? Do you know, or is that something that we?
No, that's too technique for me. My brother. But
ask your brother, and we'll find out and tell Antonio.
Yeah, if you guys have a question, do not hesitate to send me a message on what you want, email, or on social media, everything.
We know you're always at the end of an email.
Please to share more.
No, thank you so much, Marianne. It's been a pleasure to share a glass with you and to learn more about champagne.
Hopefully the next glass will be in person when we're allowed to travel.
Yes, I hope, definitely.
Indeed. So thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.